Hi guys.
Well, we are back from a crazy 4 nights on board the amazing and huge MSC World Europa.
It was big.
It was enormous.
It was, I think, is it the biggest ship we've been on so far?
Yeah, I think we're also running out of descriptions in this video on how to describe how big it really was, because it was
big.
Ginormous. There's another one for you.
Huge!
We've done that one.
Yes, we did that one, so...
But yeah, there was just so much to see and do. I think I could have spent at least 2 weeks on that ship and still not have done everything. In fact, we did meet some people that had been on that ship for 20 days.
So Fraser at sea, I think.
Well, actually, there was Fraser, but I was meeting other people that he mentioned that still hadn't done everything on board and hadn't been invited to the...
We'll get to that a little bit later.
But yeah, amazing place, absolutely amazing ship, and it was just such a blur because we had to pack so much into those 4 nights that we were on board. So in order to remember them, here is a quick highlights reel.
So let's
roll VT. What's that? Economy? It's glass. Actually, I think it might be crystal, but it's glass.
It's glass.
Glass. And
glass. And class all the way.
Glass and class.
Gosh, Just rewatching that, I'm just like, that was just a blur for me.
How did we fit all of that in?
Oh, I don't even know. And we didn't get it through everything, but I mean, I think we did most things.
Not only was this our first time in Yacht Club, and we will, of course, be doing a full in-depth review on whether it is worth the hype.
Or the price tag.
Yeah, that too. However, it was also a brand new class of ship for MSC, and it is packed full of new concepts and new ideas. Some we loved, and some we really didn't.
So you're going to have to stay tuned and find out exactly what we thought of these new concepts on board the Embarkation.
Now, this cruise was going from Genoa, which is the home port of MSC, so you think they'd be pretty well organised there, and it is the home of their actual head offices globally, so it's pretty impressive.
It is. This was a cruise, as Tristan said, going from Genoa, so it was a bit of a trek to get there. It was planes, trains and automobiles, really.
It really was. It was a very full-on day of travel, and I have to say, probably I'm not going to be choosing from Genoa to cruise from Genoa again. It's a beautiful place in many ways, but no, it's just a real hassle to get to, and it is worth noting, you can get some real deals and it seems enticing, but our tip would be give it a skip.
Yeah, it's a bit of a pain. Unless you can get a direct flight into Genoa, it's not worth it. The ship?
Another word for you. Ginormous!
Gigantic! Big.
That's not a space station. That's World Europa. But she was absolutely enormous. She dwarfed the other ships around her. Even things like, Grandiosa. There was a joke at one point, the captain said there was Barcelona, that there was a little ship in the port. So I went to the front of the ship just to have a look at it.
And it was Grandiosa.
And it was Grandiosa. I'm like, that's not a little ship.
Yeah.
But apparently, when based against World Europa, it's a little ship.
It is. I know when we were in Barcelona, we looked at the two and went, I didn't know World Europa was so much bigger than what it was.
It really is big.
Yeah. So with the ship itself, I mean, it was interesting. You could see elements of some of the other ship designs in there. So that more the Galleria Promenade.
They have that great Galleria that they have we love on the Meraviglia class of ships. And they've kind of taken that concept and they've enlarged it. They've twisted it around a bit. They've created this outdoor promenade area, which we'll come on to in a minute. But it just felt quite disjointed and actually a lack of flow. Whereas on the Meraviglia class ones, that Galleria has a real flow, one end of the ship pretty much to the other. This was very disjointed, it was very broken up with the staircases cut across here. I think so you didn't get this nice grand entrance that you do on the other ships. Justin always falls into this trap as well. It's the Galleria is the inside.
Yes.
The outside part is the promenade. The promenade is very much taken off of a Royal Caribbean ship, very much so. Although, huge missed opportunities, and we will come into that in a little bit, but it's an amazing space, underutilised. Yeah. Massively underutilised. So many great opportunities there that were missed on it. Especially, it's a ship designed for warm weather. Yeah. And, I don't know, it just didn't really work. No,
it didn't really wow us. There was like some missed opportunity areas where there was just nothing there, and it's like, well, this is where you could have put this or this or this or this. The other thing I wanted to mention was the way in which the design, as you walk through the Galleria, everything's boxed off. So all the venues had their own kind of separate sort of rooms. And I found that a bit odd because on some of the other classes, like Meraviglia classes, it sort of spreads out into the Galleria, so you feel part of the Galleria and the actual venue itself. But this felt really boxed off, didn't it?
The venues themselves, and we will talk about those more in more detail shortly as well, but they felt smaller. Yeah. A lot of people said, oh no, they're bigger, but they really didn't feel bigger. They felt smaller. Especially places like Masters of the Sea, which is actually really big on a lot of the ships, was really quite a small, tiny little place. So it felt very much out of situ. Yeah. And there was just things like the promenade was really missing at night time, a real focal point. Yeah. It's got Temptations, which is a great ice cream bar. It's an extra upcharge. Yeah. And it's got the Malt Lounge. But the thing is, the Malt Lounge is open at night and is great, but it's a cigar lounge, so I'm not going to sit there at night time.
We had to one night.
We did one night on the outside part, but it's just they need more bars out there. They need hub activity at night. Even if they we said this, take some of the daytime places, like the coffee emporium, which we love during the day, and make that into a night venue that becomes at night a different bar. So then it has more usage.
The thing that confused me was out on that promenade as well. It was a bit confusing, as you were saying. So there was one night venue, which is the Malt Lounge, as you said, but there was like shops all along, and at night they were all closed, or during the day they were closed if you were in port. So it was a bit of a useless area, wasn't it? Except for the coffee shop and some of the other little sort of stores.
And of course, one of the saddest things about this ship, there are no crystal staircases except for Yacht Club.
Yeah.
So if you love the MSC Crystal Swarovski staircases, you will be disappointed, I'm afraid.
Unless you're in Yacht Club.
But as we did say, there are lots of other new concepts which we really did love, and we will come on to those in a little bit.
The cabin.
So we will have a full tour of not only our Yacht Club suite, but also a deluxe balcony and a deluxe interior coming soon. Thanks Fraser at Sea and Cruising with the 4Bs for lending us your rooms to Vilio.
Yeah, we didn't see all your washing around. It's fine.
First of all, I would say if you love an MSC room, these are fantastic. They are MSC at their best. They have tweaked some of the kind of odd bits that they have on other ships that they've improved on. So the sinks that are normally a bit angular and kind of really can't get in, they're actually now deeper, so much better.
They've lost someone out of the room. They've lost Zoe.
They lost Zoe, which is not a big miss. I mean, that's probably about time they removed her from the rooms. She wasn't anything but
helpful.
We also, of course, because we were in Yacht Club, we had a butler for the first time, Maddie, and she was amazing. However, as I'm sure you've all guessed by now, more of that to come in our Yacht Club review video.
Correct. But we can talk a little bit about our room. It was quite spacious.
It was spacious. It was a really good sized balcony. We had a great sofa space. And it was great. Really nice, spacious rooms. All the MSC rooms are so well designed. Yeah,
plenty of cupboard space, plenty of drawer space, and a really nice balcony. We're on the corner, so we had a really nice view from the front of the ship and also the side, which was great.
Yeah, just great functional spaces that are really nice places to relax. And of course, everywhere has that wonderful MSC Med smell.
So one thing I will have to say about the cabin, the bathroom in Yacht Club is really good size. Unfortunately, there's not a shower door.
No, there isn't, but then our shower was big enough to fit about 5 people in, so...
Restaurants and bars.
Now, of course, we can't massively talk about the main dining rooms because we were in Yacht Club and had the Yacht Club main dining room. However, I would say the food in the Yacht Club was definitely a step up from the normal main dining rooms on board. We did talk to some of our friends who were on board and cruising, and they did say that the main dining rooms were really busy and you were quite close quarters.
I think it was cheek to jowl, as someone described it. So the tables were like this close together.
So I'm kind of pleased actually we weren't in the main dining rooms for dinner because that would have just been uncomfortable. Yeah.
Apart from the main dining rooms, there was a range of specialty restaurants, so all your old favourites. So they included things like Butcher's Cart, teppanyaki and
Keito sushi and teppanyaki. You also have Ola.
Ola!
Which of course we went to. It is Ola Tacos, which is much to our pleasure because Ola Tapas is not one for us.
Yeah, and Ola Tapas, the best value restaurant I think on the ship, isn't it?
It really is. It's about $17.99 all you can eat. And it means all you can eat. I mean, we pigged out.
Yeah, we tended to roll out of that. We didn't try Butcher's Cut this time or Kyoto.
No, we have tried those before, and you can check out our other review videos for both of those actually. They have some new concepts on board, so we have the Chef's Garden Kitchen, which we did try. It's a little bit more unique. They're growing the herbs, etc., and vegetables on board the ship, which is really cool. In hydroponic space, but not the best food. Personally, I wasn't overly impressed, and the desserts really skip.
They were the desserts were awful. I tried. I really did try, but no. And I've got a sweet tooth. I like desserts, and I just couldn't do it.
You also have La Pescaria, which is a restaurant out on the promenade. It is officially a fish restaurant. However, I would say it's more of a kind of Greek taverna style. It looked really cool. We didn't get time to go in there, but I think when we go on World America in 2025, so it couldn't have been that bad, we will be going, I'm sure, to try it because, it sounded nice.
Yeah, exactly. And also, if you love MSC Pizza, and I know a lot of you do like MSC Pizza, they have done something really special. They must have listened.
You have Luna Park Pizzeria.
And burgers.
Yeah, and Box Bar, technically. Yeah. But it is a restaurant solely dedicated to all things MSC Pizza. Fantastic. Also, at the back of it, some free games, arcade games, really old arcade games like Donkey Kong and
Pac-Man.
Some of them did get turned off at certain points, which is a bit sad, but
yeah, I don't know why.
Most of the time, great fun to play, and they're free to play, which is really funny because the arcade is across the Galleria, and you pay for that, but I can go and use those for free. So
yeah, so a lot of people were on them, weren't they? So and I think popular. It was more people, a lot of older sort of people that remember those games from sort of the 80s, 90s as well.
You also have the two main buffets up on deck 18 and 19. They are basically, they're saying the same food, but one is more the traditional on deck 18, the traditional kind of buffet style for MSC, and then up on deck kind of 19, you've got a more kind of brasserie style, so the same food, but just a bit more intimate, a bit more plush. It's quite a nice venue. Wasn't open as often as obviously the one on deck 18 was, but a really nice idea actually. If you don't like the hubbub of such a big buffet, you can go there at the right times and use it. You also have the coffee emporium down on the promenade as well. We tried this out, and oh my word.
Good. And it's included in your drinks package if you have one as well. But the coffees, oh my gosh, they were heavenly.
They also do coffee cocktails, which we didn't get a chance to try, but we should have tried those.
We should have. We just
that's a missed opportunity.
And then there's all like just normal cafes and pool bars and stuff like that, all pool buffets and things like that that just serve you normal sort of food that you get at poolside cafes, really. So yeah.
Some of the new concept bars that they have on board. So we have got all the usual ones like the Champagne Bar, or Fizz as it's called now. And you also have Masters of the Sea. The nice new concept with Masters of the Sea is they are brewing their own beer on board the ship, but they are using seawater.
It was really interesting.
Idea.
You did have a drink of it. What did you think of it?
I had a few drinks of it. I'm not going to lie. It was quite tasty.
It was
I enjoyed that.
Oceana, was it?
Oceanic or something.
Oceanic. Yeah. And it smelled really florally. I don't drink beer, but I smelt it. I was like, oh, this is interesting.
It was nice. They do have IPAs as well, brewed as well. So I had a Pilsner, but they do IPAs, etc. They also have Elixir, which is a very
mixology bar.
Mixology, refined cocktail bar. It's not so much like... we thought it would be a bit like Edge cocktail bar. It's not. It's a bit more...
like Sky Loungey, but more bespoke.
Yeah, and they're very specific though in there on which cocktails they do and which cocktails they do not do. So they won't do your standard cocktails there. You have to order off their menu.
And being that it's like a World Europa as well, the ones that were included in our package were like things like Tuscan and Greek, and that I think yours was like Greek, and you could describe it as a
Greek salad in a glass. I also had a Spanish one which came with a sun-dried tomato and a piece of chorizo on it, which was interesting.
And I had the Tuscan one, which everyone described as Christmas. I don't know. It had cinnamon in it, so it was a bit weird.
You also have the gym project on board, which is above the Masters of the Sea. They do connect with this Harry Potter style staircase, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But the gym project obviously is a gym bar. So kind of, I would hope self-explanatory. We did have a couple in there. I did do a couple of times, but it was really busy. So it was quite often difficult to get in there for those ones. Another new concept that we really thought was lovely, and especially if you are not into necessarily the pubs and things, was the Raj Polo Club. Tea Emporium,
yeah.
Or Tea Parlour. It was absolutely stunning.
It was like
beautiful. It's like being transported back to Victorian India Raj days.
Yeah.
That's probably really PC, I'm sorry. But it was absolutely
beautiful.
Stunning.
Yeah, it was just a really nice, relaxing area. There wasn't always a lot of people in there, though, was there?
No, it was often very quiet. 74, I think, varieties of tea they had, which was amazing.
And the afternoon tea you could have in there as well. It was an extra charge. I think it was £10 or €10 for an extra charge.
In your drinks package, if you have one, you can get a tea of your choice and a slice of cake or cookies or biscuits, etc. Absolutely included free. So if you want to kind of experience it without maybe paying the extra for the tea, afternoon tea, do it that way.
Yeah, and then also there's as we mentioned before, the malt lounge, and that's at the back of the ship, and it's kind of an indoor-outdoor, but it is smoking. So
it's specifically more than smoking. It's not a smoking area. It's a
smoking
bar.
But
it's a cigar lounge.
Yeah.
So they will actually also sell cigars to you there. So it's they've taken that kind of concept of like Churchill's is on Princess, or I think it's also Churchill's on Cunard.
Yep.
But yeah, they've gone for that cigar lounge design.
Entertainment. Let me.
I was about to say.
entertain you.
I was about to say. Thank goodness he didn't do that. But,
you know, that will always happen.
He's going to always do something weird and embarrassing. Now, the entertainment on MSC, we know traditionally, and we've seen them, they're not always the most understandable.
Yes.
They are bizarre.
Yeah.
However, actually, they have been up in their game lately. And the theatre this time, we saw, I think, MSC at its oddest.
Yeah.
It was a mixture of the modern ones that they do, but this was like called Amelia, and it was to do with Amelia Earhart.
Yeah.
And it was a really cool concept, but they had this kind of like 3D computer generated version of Amelia that kept appearing and talking to you. And then they had like weird magician acts and people riding around and round and round in one of those like Thunderdome things or whatever they are with the motorbikes.
Yeah, I mean the tricks and all that was entertaining. It was just the storyline. Was there a storyline? I don't even understand what was going on. It was weird.
It was MSC at its finest. Now, there is also the Panorama Lounge at the back.
Yeah.
Now, this has kind of replaced the Carousel Lounge a lot. There are other ships. It's been very popular. They do more kind of Cirque du Soleil-esque style shows. It's not Cirque du Soleil anymore there, but it's their own kind of style. It is really cool and funky.
It's an immersing experience because they've got like an LED, is it LED dance floor and in the background. And yeah, they put in these shows, and we went and saw a 70s, what was the show called?
I don't know.
It was a 70s disco. And I'll tell you what, though, it was great. I love singing along to the tunes, and the performers were fantastic, weren't they?
It was a really great experience, and one thing we would say is get there early, get right down the front because it's really cool. Some of the shows you could get a free drink even in, so sit near the front.
Yeah.
You've also got on board Venom Drop. Now, Venom Drop is apparently the longest dry slide at sea because it goes 11 decks. Sorry, NCL. They beat you by one deck. But it is 11 decks. You tried it. I was like, no thanks, I'll film you from the bottom.
It was really bumpy, as you can see in the clip. It was like the whole way down. It was really interesting.
Yeah, they kept having to go down on one guy, and he sort of went down with like a pot of grease and kept greasing the slide.
What he was doing? Oh, okay.
Kind of weird. But you have the Aurora Borealis Aqua Park.
Yep.
Not my favourite design of Aqua Park. I think still Seaview, although we didn't particularly like the ship. I think they have the better Aqua Park, and to be fair, I think the Meraviglia still is better because it's all together. Their kind of Aqua Park goes down the side of a section of the ship. The slides were...
they were amazing, though. The slides were good.
Were they? I don't know. You went.
Well, I did. I braved it because it was freezing cold, but I went... For research purposes, I had to try the slides.
Yeah,
and
so you did the drop slide where the
U
floor
drop
goes underneath you.
Oh, gosh, that was like... Yeah.
And you did the racer slide as well. So yeah, really fun experience. We have as well on board the bumper cars. Now this is obviously taking off of the Royal Caribbeans of the world. They're not free to do. They are quite cool. They're up in the kind of sportsplex area on a night time typically. It's quite fun. And you are allowed to bump, which is really cool. Cool. Who wants to just drive around and dodge people? That's no fun.
No, that's right.
Speaking of the Sportsplex, you do have the Sportsplex up there. It's got its own little bar there.
Yep.
The gym is across the way as well.
Yep.
And you've got a really cool, just like funky place to hang out.
Yeah.
Teens do often use it as well for their own things.
Yeah,
well,
they do. Yeah.
For meetups, etc. So that's quite a cool space, and it is quite funky design.
Yeah, it is.
You have got the gym. It is an enormous gym.
Yeah,
absolutely huge.
Tried to go a few times, but trying to cram absolutely everything in. I think people
we didn't go. We chose to go for afternoon tea instead. It's
we thought that'd be a bit more interesting for people, especially those ones that think we're crazy when we go to the gym on the ship. The other thing that that I wanted to mention was Luna Park, which is an additional venue. So it's right next door to where all the arcade
it's right down on the
games are.
Galleria.
Yeah.
It's not my favourite venue of choice. It's a bit bonkers.
We went in there a couple of times. The kids use it for kids club sometimes, but we went in there for some parties, and I thought I'd taken something. I think someone had slipped something in my drink.
Yeah, the giant fluffy animals dancing around and pole dancers beside them was a bit weird.
It's
a weird concept, and I get it, but I also don't get it at the same time.
The kids club.
Wow, this was a big kids club. And again, some nice new concepts there. They have the Lego club or Lego room.
Yeah, like family room.
Which is quite nice. So you can just go in there pretty much whenever, during the opening times, with your children and play with them, build Lego, Duplo as well if you want if they're younger. So that was quite a nice addition, that there is a space that you can go as a family and just have a bit of quiet downtime and play as well. Mm-hmm. They've got the usual clubs, they've got the babies, they've got the mini, they've got the juniors, and they've got the kind of young club, it's called.
Yeah, it's like young teens or
no, they have young and then they have teens.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So young is kind of pre-teens
and then teens. I did find though that out of all the clubs on MSC as well, this one, some of it lacked a few things, didn't it? Especially around the teen area, because some have like teen discos and that, and they're just.
I think the teen area to me was a little bit lacking,
underwhelming,
and underwhelming compared to some of the other classes of ships. The other spaces for like the juniors and the minis and the babies and stuff was absolutely fantastic. But the facilities maybe for the older kids, it's maybe, I think they're expecting them to go and do more things around the ship themselves.
Maybe they didn't like hanging out in the disco, it was a bit uncool. But what I did like as well is they've got what's called a studio now, and it's a much bigger room, and it's where different age groups can come together, and then they do all their like games and all those events.
They have Voice at Sea for kids on there, which is really cool with the little seats.
They have the seats. It's really
it's very
cool.
sweet. But they have all those kind of more activities, which is quite cool to bring all the kids together, especially because if you've got siblings in different age groups, it gives them an opportunity to do stuff together.
Yeah, no, that's right. So we've got a full review coming out on that as well, and it's going to be like an ultimate MSC Kids Club tour.
Yeah, we're going to kind of look across all of them because they do so much across the whole fleet. And like we've said it before, but I really and truly think MSC is one of the best ones for kids.
Yeah, I agree.
And kids and teens and young people, because they just do so much. There's so much available. I mean, we could be completely corrected when we go on Royal Caribbean later this year, but I really do think...
From what we've experienced, and Josh actually stayed in Kids Club. He didn't want to come out. So it's good because
he was back to his old Josh. No more P&O.
No.
No more P&O. But he was absolutely well. We will do P&O.
But
But yeah, he just really loves it, and it's just great to see. And they love doing so much, and they're so personal with the kids, I think, which is the best thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Relax. Too busy.
Yeah, not in that spa. I wouldn't relax very much. It wasn't relaxing.
We did not relax in that spa. So the spa aboard World Europa was the biggest that I've seen in the fleet.
It had really good facilities.
It did have good facilities. It had a pool. It had steam room. It had, everyone's doing the ice room, the snow room these days. It had this weird foot thing. It was like
foot soup.
Can I explain it? Can I explain it? So there was like 6 pools of water, and it was like hot, cold, and you just like walk along it. And I said to Tristan, "Do you want to give it a go?" And he's like, "No."
No, foot soup. I did see one really funny moment though. There was a person sitting in them, which I was like,
sauna was great. I love the sauna on there. I thought it was really good.
Actually had 2 big saunas, which was really nice actually.
Steam room that smelled like feet, like every single sauna.
It's the hammam
spa.
It's the hammam steam room, and they do it. To me, they smell like feet.
Yeah.
There was the snow room was actually a really nice snow cave, and you had the proper steam bath, as they call them, which is the ones with eucalyptus to really clear out your nose.
The thing was, great facilities. We got in there and we couldn't actually sit down anywhere, and it was so jam-packed that everyone was just standing around because they just wanted to use the facilities. But it was so rammed. It was just, there was so many people.
Yeah, and I mean, the pool in the middle of it is really big, but it's very shallow.
Yeah.
So you can't even really stand up in it or squat in it or anything.
No.
It was almost like basically you had to kind of wade in and then plop down on it. And then this huge area with this curtain of water coming down.
Yeah.
Was just splashed everywhere, really.
Yeah.
And then these beds that you were neither in the water nor out of the water, so it was kind of uncomfortable.
It's just weird. It was just some weird stuff. Some of it was just served no purpose. I don't know.
Odd design and a bit poorly just overpopulated with people. I get it. We went on the sea day, which we've done before though, and I've never had it be that busy before.
Way.
And I just thought, what a shame that they're not limiting the numbers of people a bit more. Yeah. Because actually, we could have gone in pretty much every day, and after that experience, we were like, do you know what? I'm not going to go in again.
Yeah, and other people that we knew that went in for their hour. Thermal experience, and they just basically came out after 10 minutes because it's too busy. But one thing that really surprised me was the tiny changing room, men's changing room. I'm sorry.
No, and also the little lockers that were tiny.
The chair was like enough for one or two people to sort of sit on, and there'd be like 6 men sort of half naked. It was just odd. It was just odd.
It was cozy.
It was.
And the lockers were just tiny. I could barely get my shoes in the locker. Never mind my rucksack.
We used three lockers because it was like a shoe in this one. It was that small. It really was.
They were absolutely tiny.
Yeah. But the spa, not the most enjoyable. I think it would be enjoyable if there wasn't as many people.
Yeah, I love the spas on the Meraviglia class of ships. I even really quite like the one on the Seaview on Seaview. Yeah. But I probably, when we go on World America, I probably won't bother going in the spa. I wasn't impressed.
Unless it's not as busy.
Yeah, unless they're limiting the numbers.
Internet and app. So
it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that's one important thing. For some people, is if they're buying internet or if there's some type of the app you need to use a lot because you're doing booking theatres and things like that as well. It has to be reliable.
A lot of ships do have a bit flaky internet. Let's be honest. MSCs we've always found to be pretty reliable, pretty strong. Certainly, if you get the kind of slightly higher one, it's not much more for normally the higher package. You get pretty stable download speeds and things. I think if you were trying, you could probably do work actually on them, emails, etc. if you needed to. So, not that I'm encouraging anyone to go on a cruise ship and work. I mean, wrong. But if you needed to, it'd be a great idea. And like, had we been on that for February, you could have maybe come and actually worked whilst on board rather than staying at home. So. It certainly is. And the app, it functions, it's pretty straightforward. Yeah. It's not the flashiest of apps again. You can do most things. It's stable though and it's reliable, which is what you want.
Yeah, but we never had a problem. And I suppose, during the day there was a lot of people on board. I mean, it was at full capacity. And, sometimes it sort of waned a little bit, but nothing major that it just wouldn't load things up or you were constantly without internet. So it was definitely worth having.
It did occasionally struggle uploading like a reel or something when you're in the middle of the sea. But actually, a photo would upload without any problem and a reel might take a bit longer. So on the whole, I think pretty good, pretty solid.
So the summary. And what's the question?
When is big too big?
Too big. Well, I'd have to say going onto this ship was very daunting. It is massive. And it's so, as we said, higgledy-piggledy. I just couldn't work the ship out and it was just too much. Way too much.
It is disjointed, and I have to say I was really, really grateful that we were in Yacht Club actually and had that place to retreat to, which we kind of thought when we actually booked it originally. We were like, I think we're going to really appreciate having that space that you could go back to and be quiet in and actually relax, which it was a kind of godsend.
It was like a haven, but I will say that when Yacht Club even was at full capacity, sometimes that was feeling a bit sort of overcrowded.
And I do think Yacht Club there, it's nearly double the capacity of a lot of their other ships for Yacht Club, so you start to lose that personalisation, that individuality. They, on the first couple of times we joined, they really made a point of using our names, and then that kind of dropped, and I was like, it's because again it's too busy.
It's too busy, and that's the same when we've been on other MSC ships. We've gotten to know the staff have gotten to know us, our tastes and what we like to drink, and us a little bit personally. I just found when there's so many people, you lose that personal experience overall anyway.
We did also really feel that there wasn't a nice bar that you could kind of use. We often have like what we would call a home bar, which is like somewhere that we can go to and go, right, at this time we're going to be around about here somewhere, pretty much. If we were travelling with friends or other people, we can go, well, after dinner we'll be in the Edge cocktail bar, or we'll be in the Sky Lounge because it's adults only.
And
there's nowhere like that really on board. A lot of the venues were so busy that you couldn't get into on an evening.
Or too loud.
Master of the Sea was loud and packed. I mean, sometimes I literally couldn't get through the door.
Yeah.
And I just felt like, they were lacking a real hub venues that you could go to like that on their other ships, and it was a bit of a shame.
It just felt like you were just going around and around and around, just trying to find somewhere nice to just spend the time. It was just...
And that's no way to spend your cruise holiday.
No.
I would say, like we've said before, a drinks package on MSC is an absolute must.
Yeah.
You don't have to have the most expensive packages, but certainly take something, because it really does add up fast.
No, it does. And so we know that the Cruising with the 4Bs didn't have a drinks package, and I think, they'll talk about it in their review, but I think you definitely need it. One interesting thing that I did want to say is there is something on the ship that I found very, very special, but I don't want to talk about it too much.
Yes, we will have to be very careful in talking about this. This is, of course, the Speakeasy Bar. Now, we were lucky enough to be invited to the Speakeasy Bar. There's no clear way, and we're not going to tell you how you get in because that ruins the fun of it. But it was an amazing experience. Your drinks packages don't work in there, so it doesn't matter either way. But the drinks are truly spectacular.
And it was a theatre in itself.
The experience in itself was amazing. Going back of house to get there was really great. Mm-hmm. It's really well thought out, and actually was a real highlight as well for me, that space.
Yeah.
Some other areas that I really enjoyed as well were the coffee emporium during the daytime. It was just such a lovely coffee.
Even the tea
the tea bar place.
Yes.
The Raj Polo.
Yeah.
Was absolutely a real nice place just to go and chill and relax. The pools, I didn't really like their indoor pool as much.
I didn't either. I felt that it was sort of enclosed. Oh my gosh! And the one thing that I did see that people like hot tubs, but the hot tubs in the inside were more like communal bathtubs. Yeah.
Now, if you do like MSC and their style, it is very much like the MSC typical style of their more modern ships. So you're gonna love it either way. But I just think going with your eyes open, I think they're going to definitely take some learnings from the ship to hopefully into World America and their future ones in this class. But we will be watching with a lot of interest to see if they do pick up those.
So if you like our content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It really helps us and supports us. We've also got Instagram, we're on Facebook, and we've just launched Patreon. So first of all, we want to just say thank you to all our Patreons here. For all their support. If you want to become a Patreon, you can find us on the Patreon website. And of course, we've got our own Cruise Buoys website, which is www.cruisebuoys.com. So make sure you stay tuned for all the upcoming content. And we're going to say bye for now. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, like, comment, and share.